From the Ear to There Travel Studio, this is the Ear to There Disney Podcast.
The Ear to There Podcast, it's time to start the show. Be sure to hold on tight, here we go. Exploring all the different Disney destinations. Ear to There, it's time to start the fun.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Ear to There Disney Podcast. I'm your host, Phil Gramlich. I am also the owner and the founder of Ear to There Travel, which is a Disney specialized travel agency. It is my goal, my dream in life, to take away all the stress, all the anxiety, and all that time that it takes to plan a Disney trip. Oh, and all of that goes doubly for all of the vacationers on the Ear to There Travel team. So you can focus on the really, really fun things like having a fantastic time with your family and friends and enjoying the magic. Just remember the packages for 2020 vacations are coming out on June 18th. So if you're thinking about going to Walt Disney World in 2020, that is the day where you will want to fill out a quote request over at eartotheretravel.com. You can either fill one out for me, or you can go to the agents page. We have a lot of agents there who are more than happy to help you. These are folks that I interviewed, handpicked myself. All of them have one thing in mind, and that is to help you have the absolute best possible vacation ever. And again, they always will do that absolutely at no extra cost to you. So you can meet the Ear to There Travel team, listen to this podcast, or get your free, no obligation quote over at eartotheretravel.com. All right, this is episode number 172 for the week of June 10th, 2019. So grab a drink, grab a snack, and as a famous mouse once said, on with the show. And this episode will start off like every other numbered episode of the show, and that is with the What About Bob segment. This is where Disney legend and retired Imagineer Bob Gurr joins me on the show to answer your questions and mine. Now, I've said it before and I'll say it again, Bob really needs no introduction, but I give him one anyway. So Bob is the designer of such things as the monorails on both coasts, the Matterhorn, not only the vehicles, but the track and the layout itself of the Matterhorn, the Doom buggies, the Main Street vehicles, the submarines, the Autopia cars. If it's got wheels and it's in Disneyland, Bob Gurr designed it. Oh, and of course, if it's in Walt Disney World as well. So if you want to get a question into Bob, please call the voice line. That phone number is 267-551-1971. Or you can always email it to me at phil@eartotheretravel.com. And as always, the What About Bob segment is brought to you by the Waltland Bus Tour. Each month, Bob takes a busload of people around Southern California with stops in Burbank, in Glendale, and in Los Angeles. You'll stop at all of these historical sites in the history of the Disney company, but most importantly, in the life and times of its founder, Walt Disney. To get tickets to the Waltland Bus Tour, just head over to www.waltland.com. All right, here he is, the only guy I know who has an attraction vehicle in his dining room, Bob Gurr.
It's What About Bob? Bob Gurr, the legend, creator of the Matterhorn, the monorails and the Haunted Mansion. What about Bob, the Disney legend?
Was it true that there was supposed to be a Greyhound bus on the Autopia in Disneyland?
Yes, there was. True story. And in fact, it was just before opening. Walt came to me one day and he said, say, besides having a couple of the cars as a police car, why don't we make a little miniature Greyhound bus for the little itty bitty kids? We can have a driver drive it and the little kids can sit inside it, and it would be in scale with the Autopia car. I went far enough in the engineering of it and the basic overall design and style of it And if you ever go on the internet and you look at some early pictures where I'm working at my drafting board with a steering wheel in my hand, on the wall in front of me is a drawing of that little bus. And instead of having a greyhound dog on the side of the bus, it has a Chihuahua.
That's great.
Oh no, excuse me. It doesn't have a Chihuahua. It has a what's the name of the little German wiener dog? What's that?
Dachshund.
Dachshund. Yes, this is a Dachshund bus.
Nice.
And those drawings are still today in the one of the engineering the buildings over in Glendale at WDI. A few months ago, I was over there and I saw them. They're still in there.
All right. Thank you to Bob for answering another question on the show. Like I said, if you want your question answered by Bob, you can call the voice line or email that to me, and I will ask him the next time I talk to him. All right, here we go with the rest of episode 172, just in time for Father's Day. This one is all about the dads. So if you're a dad or a grandfather or a stepfather or any father that I left out there, have a very happy Father's Day, and I hope you enjoy this week's show. Here to talk all about what to do with your dad in Walt Disney World is someone who knows an awful lot about it, because I am her sugar daddy. Amy Liz, thanks for... I was trying to think of something funny.
I was wondering where you were going with that.
I don't know. It was just off the top of my head.
Excellent.
How
Well
are
done.
you? How are you today? How are you this morning?
I'm doing great. How are you, sugar daddy?
I'm good.
I did like a little head dance.
Yeah, you
too,
did.
that
Nobody
you
can
guys...
see that, though.
No, it was just for you, baby.
Sugar daddy. No one can see your little head movements. It took me a long time to get used to that when doing a podcast.
I thought you meant like my weird dances.
No, I'm still not used to that.
I don't think you are.
The head, like the hand movements, like I always talk with my hands, and I had to learn. Like I like now basically like hold on to the desk.
Yeah, you do. I've
talk.
noticed that
because I
weird.
talk with my hands so much that I would be hitting a microphone and knocking water bottles over and everything else.
Yes, that's true.
So let's talk about what you want to do with your dad, or what awesome things we can do with our dads in Walt Disney World. You and I are both very lucky enough to have our dads around.
That's true. We are very
I know
lucky.
a lot of people, it's tough. You know, we're not going to get all that.
No, I know.
But we are very lucky. I mean, I'm 40. You're 52 now?
I mean, seriously, you guys. Why do I put up with him? You know, I'm 2 years older than you. I'm not 27 years older than you.
Way more than 2.
Oh, it's 2.
2 years is a long time.
It's not.
Like, oh man, lots of stuff can happen in 2 years. 2 years ago,
What does that even mean?
2 years ago, I was just a young college lad.
2 years ago. No, I love this topic though, because it's, right before Father's Day, and obviously you could do stuff with your dad all year. It's just, you're already thinking of your dad, so it's a perfect topic. Good job.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
This is one I came up with. I was actually kind of proud.
You did. Usually it's me.
That's kind of true. Normally, like I come up with the other topics for ones that I do with other people, but with you, I'm like, all right, think of a good topic because I'm tapped out. And you hit home runs. I have to admit.
Thank you.
Most of the time. Sometimes there are duds that we have to not record, but usually you're pretty good.
No, we do reject a couple ideas before we think of the right one.
Of course.
But it's okay. But like a fountain of ideas. Like I have so many. I think I said fountain of ideas, which I did not mean.
What's a fountain of ideas?
I don't know, but apparently...
You're going to make fun of the way I say fountain.
Apparently you're married to one. Oh, did I make fun of that?
Yeah, last time
yeah, there's like you make the T really
the fountain
hard,
of
right?
nations. I don't say the T, I say the N in fountain.
Oh, that's what
all right, let's forget about it. Let's start with our list.
Okay, let's start with our list.
We'll be here arguing over the way each other speaks. We do it on a daily basis.
It's a really good point. You guys don't need to hear it.
Yeah, like it's the problem with people who have two different accents. And you're like, I don't have an accent. You do.
I didn't say I didn't.
You do. You have that weird New York kind of
Beery.
suburban berry. And that means berry, like strawberry. You say strawberry.
Well, I don't say strawberry.
Whatever. However you say it. I can't speak in your language.
Let's just go to our
All
list.
right, let's just do the list. All right, so these are things, and I tried to give it to have like a mix, right? Like I have some things that I think that I know I would enjoy doing with my dad, and there are things that I know that I enjoy doing with our kids, because I think there's like a distinction to be made between the two.
Two different like generations.
Yeah, and like these are things that I think my dad or some dads would enjoy, and then other things on the list are things that I've enjoyed with the kids since, they've been around.
Right. You won't believe this. I don't think this has ever happened, but I basically did the same thing as you did.
Oh, wow.
We never take the same.
No. That's usually because you just break the rules and do whatever you want.
And I make it way better. But my list is still better than yours. It's going to be awesome. So you want me to start?
Yeah, why don't you start, and I'll just top everything that you say.
That will not be happening. But okay, so I'm going to start with... Oh, yes. Okay. Sorry, I was deciding which one to end with. I like to end strong. But I'm going to start strong, too. And I'm actually going to start with something that I would like specifically to bring my dad to. But I also think, I don't know a dad that wouldn't enjoy this. And it's to see Yeehaw Bob Jackson. Is that what you call him?
Yeah, that's what his technical name is.
Okay.
From Disney.
I always just called him Bob Jackson.
So have I. I've always just called him Bob Jackson. But
Yeehaw Bob.
Like his professional name, like Indiana Jones says.
Yes. So I'm sure you guys know at this point.
Jackson.
But I'm referring to this incredibly talented man who performs at Port Orleans Riverside. Like Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays.
Yeah, I think that's right.
And he's hilarious.
Yeah, that's right.
And he just like plays music and sings, and there's tons of audience participation, and he will definitely pull people up on stage regardless of how much actually, the more they seem like they don't want to do it, the more likely he is.
Yeah, the more
to pull them
trouble
up.
you are.
So that's always hilarious. But it's just fun. Like I know my dad has never experienced it, and I know how much he would enjoy it. But most dads would love it. It's fun. It's just so funny, and you can sit, you can drink if you want. You can drink alcohol or non-alcoholic beverages. You can have snacks. You can eat. I
think they brought the appetizers back, right?
They did bring the appetizers back. Yes,
wings and stuff like that.
Yes, so it's actually a very dad-oriented show now that I'm really thinking about it. But it's great for kids.
Doesn't like a drink and some nachos?
But also, it's great for kids if you're a dad and you want to bring your kids.
Yeah.
The kids love it more than anything. Oh my gosh, they're up there doing the hand jive. It's super fun. So that was the first thing I thought of.
Yeah, I mean, you're not going to get me to disagree on that.
I know that.
We've been seeing Bob for over 20 years.
Yeah, he's amazing.
I love Bob. I've had him on the show. He's hilarious. He's always always got this energy that I've never.
Yes, that's a great way to describe it.
He's like I've said before in the show, he's not a young man, and he just brings it every single night. Every night. You never get a half of Bob's show.
No. No.
Full energy.
He is completely on.
Yeah, so it's a great show. Yeah, we've talked about him a bunch on the show. At least I have. Yeah, definitely go see
have, but I think it's worth it to bring that up.
No, I'm not. Well, I wasn't criticizing. I was just saying, no.
Because I think people forget about it a lot.
Yeah, it's a great show. Great for the kids. Great for.
Oh, but if you guys are going to go, and especially if you're going to bring kids, try to bring early. Sorry, try to go early.
Well, it starts at 8, right?
Yes, but if you get there a little bit early, it's easier to get a table.
It is, because he does.
For me, I would have to, with my dad, I would have to bring.
Yes.
Get him a seat at a table.
Amy's dad is in his 80s, so at this point, he's never been, he's never been the most relaxed person, but at this point, he's like, let's go.
Why don't I have a seat? I don't understand where my chair is. How did you not prearrange this?
That's all we'll say about your dad in the show. Just in case he's listening.
I love you, Dad. Happy Father's Day.
He just reminded me of Old School when he's like, Luke Wilson's giving a speech at Will Ferrell's and I forget the girl from Entourage, at their wedding, Marissa. And he's like, it's great that Frank's dad came out. That's awesome. I haven't seen him in like 10 years. And Will Ferrell goes, I love you, Dad.
Yes, it's just like that.
Love that movie. It's such a funny movie. All right, so my first one, I love that pick. My first one, I'm just going to get on my list. I don't know what that noise was.
I'm not sure either.
I'm such a professional.
He really is.
And I've cut out all these noises.
Lucky.
All right, so Yeah, my first one, golf or miniature golf with your dad, I think is a great thing.
I had that and I deleted it because I knew you were going to do it.
Well, your dad, first of all, your dad's a huge
That's
golfer,
why I had it
right?
initially.
He loves, your dad golfs daily.
I don't know that my dad has done, I know he's done one of the Disney courses, but I don't think he's done them all.
Yeah.
And he definitely hasn't done mini golf.
Well, normally when your dad comes to visit us in Walt Disney World, he's hanging out with the kids.
Right.
And with us. Like, he golfs all the time.
Sure.
So, and he basically lives on a country club. So, like, it's easy for him to get out and golf all the time. But for people who are avid golfers and really enjoy golfing, Disney has 4 golf courses, right? All designed by the Arnold Palmer Design Company. There's the Oak Trail course, which is the one that kids can play. That's we talked about this recently for some reason.
We did talk about it.
I forget what episode that was, but the Oak Trail course is the 9-hole course that kids can also play.
Yes, that's so cool.
So if you're a dad who has a son or a daughter who's into golf,
yeah, that's a
or
great
your
opportunity.
whole family's into golf, go. And there's a discounted rate if you play really super early in the morning.
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, because and it's actually right now it's better to get out really early, but it's a 9-hole discount. You can't play 18 that early with the discount.
Okay,
I
but
forget
that's
what it is.
okay.
The Sunrise 9, I think they call it.
But if you're playing with your kids, a lot of times you would.
Yeah,
only do
9 is what the Oak Trail course is. The other ones are all 18-hole courses. Like I said, they're Arnold Palmer company designed, really, really super top of the line, like PGA style courses, super challenging, beautiful courses. And man, if you're into golf, like I love golf, and I just don't get out to play.
I know.
But like if like for Father's Day, and this isn't a hint, but if it's Father's Day, and I was given a gift card or a gift certificate for golf at Disney, I would flip. I would love that.
That would be a great present.
But then
you.
again, listen, this is going to sound kind of lazy.
I know what you're going to say.
No, you're not. You do not know what I was going to say.
Okay, I do not know.
I
what you're
don't want to
say.
bring my clubs like to Disney, so you can rent clubs.
I do not stand corrected. I knew exactly what you were going to
Did
say.
you?
Yes, I did.
Like I want to golf. When we lived there and I had my clubs down there with me, I would golf more. But now that we live here, I don't really feel like checking. I just hate checking bags.
No, I do get it. Well, and it's you guys know. I mean, with anyone who has kids, we have 3 kids. That's enough.
You have enough stuff. There's enough baggage.
Have so much stuff. So I totally understand. That is a very valid.
But I see so many like folks, especially like of the retired age.
Oh, sure. Oh, my dad brings his golf clubs.
Yeah,
everywhere.
checking golf clubs at the airport every time we go.
Absolutely.
And if you're going to Florida, if you're going to Walt Disney World, golf is huge. So I think, listen, if your dad, like my dad he's not a golfer. He doesn't. I just thought of this really funny moment when I was a kid and I was in high school, just getting into golf. Right, my uncle used to take me. He taught me to golf.
Right.
We would go like every week, my uncle and I. And
Which is so cool.
My dad wasn't into it. My dad worked shift work my entire life, so it was like my entire childhood basically. So he wasn't home a lot of days that we could like go golf. Like he was working a lot.
He didn't have the time.
And then when he wasn't, he worked 2 jobs when I was a kid. He would, work his day job, and if he had the night off, he would deliver pizza at night, kind of to make ends meet when we were kids. So he was super busy. So he had his company picnic, and I was like, Dad, let's go golf. You and I are going to golf today. And he was so excited.
Right.
Right. And I was trying to teach him how he had never golfed. He was like miniature golf and been in the driving range, but that was it. So we get up to the first tee, and you know the swing that Happy Gilmore takes, like that baseball swing?
Of course.
That's my dad golfing.
That's how he does it.
Crushes the ball. Crushes it. But it slices and it's gone.
Oh, no.
There's like the whole net. There's a net on the side of the course.
Right.
And it flies over.
Oh, no.
And he hit like 4 that way. And we lost like 4 balls in the first hole.
Oh, my gosh.
And I think we gave up after like 2 holes. He was like, I'm just not going to get this.
I don't know how to do this.
I remember thinking to myself, like, you can't get it after 2 holes. My dad wasn't a very patient guy that day. But it was fun. That's like the one time I went golfing with him. But it was fun. But anyway, like I said, I love golf. So it's something fun and it's different. And
no, that's a great pick.
People think of Walt Disney World, don't necessarily think of golf, I don't think.
I absolutely agree.
You think kids, you think Dumbo, you think Mickey Mouse, you think
exactly
roller coasters, but you don't really think of golf.
You definitely don't think of golf. And I think that this is such a great pick, and it's kind of echoes a couple of my picks later, which is, I feel I talk to so many moms who are like, I really want to go to Disney, but my husband I can't get my husband to go. I just can't get him to go. He thinks that it's it's too stressful. It's too he doesn't like crowds. He doesn't like rides. This and that. It's too busy. Whatever. And it doesn't feel like a vacation to my husband. And so I kind of went that route with most of my list to say, but listen, you can make Disney a vacation. You can be relaxing. And so that pick is perfect.
Thank you.
Because you're welcome. Because when you go on vacation, you often do go golfing. So just because you're in Disney doesn't mean that can't include it. And that will totally feel like a vacation to a dad.
There you go. Perfect. Well done.
Well done.
Thank
you.
Thank you. All right. So why don't you punch into your phone again and you're up. It's the thing about, like, nobody writes lists anymore, but like with like hand, like nobody uses a pen or a pencil.
No.
Unless you're like writing a note for your kid for school.
Right.
But it's just funny that you have to like punch into your phone.
I do.
Punch your passcode in.
Well, of course, I had like
one.
4 texts, which you did not hear. I turned the thing off.
Well, it only took you 40 podcasts to actually put your phone on silent. All right, you're up.
So my next pick is just an experience. And so it's just, I put Flight of Passage on here, which may sound like a little bit of an odd pick. But the reason that I did it is because I guess I was thinking more of my dad, kind of like of my dad's generation, on a little bit on the older side. And I just think for me, Flight of Passage is such a unique experience that I would want any dad, but especially a dad, like I said, a dad for my dad, he's experienced everything you can experience in his mind. And he has experienced almost all of it.
Your dad's done a lot.
He really has.
We had, Father's Day, they don't have it anymore.
Oh, this was so fun.
The exotic driving experience for your dad.
Oh, he loved it.
Over by Magic Kingdom, the old Disney Raceway.
And it was a Lamborghini, right?
Yeah, he got to drive a Lamborghini around the racetrack.
Come on, how fun is that?
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I mean, he got into a lot of cool stuff.
So my dad has experienced so many things, and so I'm always looking, as you can hear, to find new experiences to top that. To be like, but Dad, you've never flown on a Banshee. Let me give you that experience.
It's true.
And I also think it's a really fun dad pick because if you can be a dad and get your kids to go on that, it is so fun to experience it with kids.
It is. It's fun to watch your kids.
It's fun to do it alone because it's awesome.
It was fun for me to do it with my dad. Like we did it a couple months ago.
Oh yeah, he loved it.
And he had done it before, but just he screams the entire time.
He was blown away. Yeah, he does scream.
He's like, oh, whoa, oh. And he's not like that. He's a thrill ride guy. My dad. He loves that stuff. But yeah, he was.
Well, this is just nothing you've ever experienced.
Yeah, you can't explain it. Like,
so that's why I feel like it's a good pick.
That's a really good pick. We could sit on this podcast for another half hour and not explain to people what it's like to ride that.
That's really true. No, you can't. I don't even try to explain.
No, you can't. Like soaring on steroids is the best I ever do.
But it still doesn't quite get it.
Yeah.
It's a good try. It's a good start, but it doesn't quite get where you need to be.
Kind of, like it's got the screen, but the only similarity is the huge screen. Really, that's
really true. And that you're up.
Yeah.
Although you're not really. Yeah, no, it's not that similar at all.
No, it's completely. And apparently the ride system is just something out of like space age technology.
Oh, it has to be.
I've had friends who have been backstage and gotten to see it.
I know, that's so cool.
And one friend in particular was like, you would not believe how this thing works. Like, it's insane. So
and it just takes a village to get it to work every day, right?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I mean, it's amazing how reliable it is for as much.
That's really a good. I never thought about that.
I mean, it's pretty reliable. They were worried about that when it opened, but it's been doing pretty well.
Yeah, I've never heard of it going down.
It does.
I'm sure it does, but everything does.
There's more than one room. There's more than one screen. So
right, I see what you mean.
That makes it a big difference.
Sure, it does.
That's the same thing as Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run so far in Disneyland.
Right.
Was when I was there, even for the preview, it went down. We got in line and said 25 minutes, and then we ended up waiting about 50. And the friend that I was with, the cast member friend, was like, yeah, like they're definitely down a whole side.
Right.
Like you can tell just the way the line moves. And he was like, but it's great because the other side's moving. So
it doesn't matter.
Still working.
Right.
Like, yeah, you wait 25 more minutes, but it's worth it. Anyway. All right. So my next one, that's a great pick. Listen, Flight of Passage all day, every day. It can make any list for me.
And that's really true.
Like best anything.
So could Bob Jackson.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. So basically, you could just do your list anywhere. It doesn't have to be a dad show. So, all right. So my next one is very dad specific.
Oh, I can't wait.
I just feel like maybe because I have memories of my dad and I doing this as a kid.
Okay.
And it's going fishing in Walt Disney World.
Oh, that's a great one. That's a great dad pick.
It is. And it's just, when you think of the stuff that you want to do with your kids when you're a dad, at least for me, and it's going to sound a little sexist, but I don't mean it like this. Like, I always wanted a son to take fishing, right?
Yeah, your son is never going fishing with you.
He's going to go fishing this summer. We're going, when we're at the Jersey Shore in a couple of months, he's going to go with me.
Nope.
All three of the kids are.
I mean, you're welcome
I'm not going to
get
make them
them.
bait a hook. I'm not going to go do anything like that.
I just don't think they're going to be into it.
Yes, they will. They'll
Okay.
be into it. I'm telling you. We'll put them in. We'll do it off a dock somewhere. We don't have to go out on the boat.
I think you're only getting Zoe. Let's make bets.
Anyway, so no. So anyway, fishing.
Fishing is a great pick.
Yeah, like what else? What is more kind of father-son,
No, there isn't.
thing than fishing? That's where kind of my mindset was. There's different kinds of fishing available all over Walt Disney World. There's the dockside fishing at a lot of locations
Right.
where it's just exactly as it sounds.
That's
Where
so
you
fun.
rent a-
I've seen so many people do
Yeah, they
that.
have it at Wilderness Lodge. They have it at Contemporary. They have it at Fort Wilderness. Or basically you just rent bait, or you rent a rod, get bait, go out on the dock and fish from the dock.
I love that that's an option because it's so convenient. You can fit it into any day.
And it's less intimidating, I think, for kids, especially than getting on a boat and going out on a guided bass excursion, which is another one they have. You can rent different types of boats. One, I think, seats 2. Another boat seats up to 4. They have I forget what they're called, not a pontoon boat, but something like that, where you have a guide that goes out with you for whatever you pay for, a couple of hours, and it's a guided bass fishing tour. They teach you how to use he's an expert, so if you've never done it before, he'll teach you how to use the rod.
That is so
he'll
cool.
He'll teach you how to bait. He'll teach you how to get the fish off the hook.
I love
If you
that.
catch one, you have to catch one first.
Right, sure.
But they do stock the lakes there with bass. So
Of course. So it's a little bit easier.
So you can, so it's very, very cool. Everything's catch and release, so you're not bringing any fish home to cook.
That's also good.
If you're staying in a villa at Bay Lake Tower, you can't catch a bass and bring it back.
Have it for dinner.
Just throw it on the table when you come in.
But
Let's
that's
go.
such a fun experience.
It is. It's really fun. So what is this?
And that's another one, I'm sorry, but that's another very vacation-y thing.
It is. No,
right? That you would not think of going to Disney World without fishing.
You think of fishing, you think of family trips to a lake.
Right.
You don't think of Walt Disney World.
It's
fishing.
just great.
So
It's the best of both worlds.
It is. A funny story I have about not catching and release that Tom Nabby told me on the show a few months ago, but I wanted to bring up, was he was the original Tom Sawyer in Disneyland, and Walt Disney had hired him to be Tom Sawyer, but also to help with fishing on Tom Sawyer Island. Kids
right.
and adults would go over there, and they stocked the rivers of America with fish, and they would go fishing there, right? Well, so he would help them get the hooks, and he would help them get the...
Right.
So when it started, it wasn't catch and release. You got to keep the fish that you caught.
Oh, no.
So he would help them clean the fish, on the docks and stuff.
Right.
But Disneyland had to stop doing that and make it catch and release because people were taking the fish, and it's Southern California.
Yeah, it's hot.
It's beautiful. It's in the 70s every day.
But it's not.
But people were just leaving their fish places.
Ugh.
So
That's not a good situation.
there were carcasses all over Disneyland.
So gross.
Maybe that's when the feral cats started coming around.
Oh, that's
Disneyland.
probably exactly what had happened.
So that they had to make it catch and release because Disney was having a problem in Disneyland with fish guts being all over the place.
Oh, so gross.
Yeah, pretty gross.
Yeah,
So
it's very
imagine that now. That would never happen now.
No.
But yeah, fishing I think is a great one. And also, I always mention this when we talk about fishing on the show, which isn't often. It's like, this isn't a fishing show.
It's not? I'm on the wrong show then.
I know. You're like, hi, I have my hat with the hooks on it and my rod and my outboard motor. That's all I know about fishing.
Me too. I don't even know what an outboard motor
I
is.
always wanted a hat with the hooks on it, though.
No, I know.
Hooks and lures, like Wilson from
Father's Day present.
There you go. I ended up stabbing myself in the head with a hook. But don't forget the old school fishing hole at Port Orleans Riverside. Another reason to stay there.
Yep. And then you can go late and then go right before Bob.
Right. You can go. Actually, I think it closes at dusk, so they might be out of luck. But they have
go to dinner at Boat Rights in between.
There you go. So you have the old wooden fishing poles with the little bobber at the end of it, and you and your kids can go fishing there.
Oh, perfect.
So that's really cool. So it's
that's so cool.
You kind of fish like Huckleberry Finn or Tom Sawyer.
Oh, have fun. Who doesn't want to do that?
That's really fun to do with kids.
Really fun.
Really cool. So, all right, Ames. What do you got?
All right, so I have
Come at me, bro.
so, it was funny when I was making this list and I was like, I have to get to Magic Kingdom. I just feel like that's such a dad park. So I have to get there. So my next pick is, in fact, in Magic Kingdom, and it is, drum roll please, Country Bear Jamboree.
Wow, that's an interesting one.
You know why?
No, now I know. I know exactly why.
Well, you know why specifically.
Yes.
But generally, it is full of dad jokes.
It is. It's full of dad jokes.
Not just a little cheesy, right? Like, it's pretty cheesy, which is why it's so awesome.
You know what's great about it? Sorry, can I interrupt for 1 second?
Yeah, of course. It's your show.
That's true. So I will interrupt for 1 second, and you will be quiet about it.
Oh, I don't know about that part of it.
You can tell, like, I'm so tough that I'm sure I scared everybody.
So intimidated.
I scared the listener right there. No, but I remember, what's really fun about that is the cast member who does the introductions, and then
yes, I love him
because right before he or she, before they start doing the introductions, they can tell really corny dad jokes about
that
bears.
Actually is the best. That's part of the best.
Really funny.
One of the
they
best
do
parts.
It, and then like the puns are just.
I've never seen a girl. I'm sure girls do it, right?
Yeah, I know we have. We had to have.
I just feel
I feel like I see the guy with the beard every time I go.
Yeah, maybe that's what it is. We just always get the same guy.
I associate it with this one cast
and he
member.
tells really good dad jokes.
Yeah, he does. Anyway, so back to your dad jokes.
Yes. So dad jokes, like what dad doesn't want to hear. Dad
By the
jokes.
way, you know who hates Country Bear Jamboree?
Who?
Heather Thomasek.
Oh, I did know that actually.
Heather, are you listening? Your sons, Griffin and Owen, are listening right now. Right now, you're listening.
We are giving you a shout out.
Go tell your mom right now. This is for Heather and Owen and Griffin. Go tell your mom that you're going to see the Country Bear Jamboree.
And she's going to take you, and she's going to watch
enjoy the heck out of it.
She's going to love it.
All right, back to your pick.
By the way, Heather, I think you're great.
Not great until you take your kids to Country Bears.
So I can see that I specifically picked Country Bear Jamboree because I once again was thinking of my dad. And, my dad, he has a sense of humor. Definitely. Of course, everyone does. But, and he'll giggle with the best of them. Little, whatever.
Yeah. First of all, sorry. I've never seen your dad giggle.
Maybe even a chortle. Yes, he does.
He's not giggles. A giggler. No, he's not.
But when you...
Just so we know, Amy's dad he's a serious dude. He's a retired judge and like a higher up judge and a longtime lawyer. Like, he will laugh, but he doesn't giggle. I don't think.
But
giggles.
what I was going to say was, like, it's difficult. Yeah, you can make him laugh, but it's difficult to get him to, like, guffaw.
Yeah, belly laugh.
Yeah, belly laugh.
Yeah,
You're not getting a lot of belly laughs out of my dad. So when you do, it is so satisfying. It's amazing. So we had him in the parks.
I feel like you got a little fake belly laughs for him early on, and now I just gave up. Like, he used to think I was funny, and now he's just like, oh, man.
No, he thinks you're funny.
Is he talking about Disney again? Jeez. Sorry.
But no, we had him in the park one time with the kids, and we were like, we were walking past it, and we were like, oh, wait, let's do Country Bear Jamboree. And we definitely did it when I was young, but my dad doesn't remember it. He had not done it recently at all. And so he was like, oh, what is this? And I was like, it's air conditioned and you sit down and watch the show. He was like, I am all in. Those fit all of his requirements. So let's do this thing.
Sign me up.
So we sat down and he's like, kind of into it. I definitely see big smiles and grins. And then, and I know I always do it, but Blood on the Saddle came on, and I have never heard him laugh that hard, probably in my whole entire life.
It's really, I remember hearing him over everyone else.
There were tears streaming down his face.
Yeah, it was really funny. Like,
he couldn't believe it. And I'll tell you what, he said, this was at least a year ago, and he still talks about it.
I know. And then later when Big Al, at the end when they're all singing over each other, all the bears, and Big Al comes back out and does it again. He started cracking up again. Like dying.
Just full out belly laughing. No, it's so great.
I love that because it's something, listen, it's not something that you think about. That's a great pick because you don't necessarily think about like, okay, this is a dad.
No, you had like a reaction where you were like, that's weird. And then you're like, oh, that makes sense.
Yeah, because the dad jokes and you have that memory of your dad, being there with your dad.
Right.
And this is going to sound a little corny, but that's so what Disney is. What Walt Disney
absolutely
World is. What Disneyland is, what the Disney Cruise Line is. It's, you make these memories and it's amazing. Like you'll never forget that. You'll never forget. Like, I have this memory, not Disney related, but of my mom. We took my mom to see Step Brothers, and we were having a.
Oh my gosh, that
we
was
were having
great.
she was having a really hard.
Yeah, we all
time.
were. We were having a tough
It was
day.
a tough family problem.
Yep.
Family issues, and we went to see Step Brothers, and I was like, Mom, this is going to be stupid, but we're going to laugh. So I've never heard somebody laugh that loud.
I mean, she was crying too. There were tears streaming
My
down her
mom
face.
laughed. Yeah, she laughed so hard in Step Brothers that I thought they were going to kick us out.
I did too.
Like, she couldn't breathe.
People were like missing lines.
Yeah, you're missing half the movie. So, like, just that's what I mean. Like, moments like that you'll never forget. And there's so many of those created just on any Disney trip. There really are.
It's so true.
I have so many great memories of not just my dad or my mom, but with our kids and with just you and me.
Of course.
And little things like that. Anyway, not to get into a whole thing.
No, I love that. That's a great point.
It's just, that's what a Disney vacation is. That's what a trip to Walt Disney World is. It's those memories. Like, when people are like, oh, you have a 1-year-old. Why are you going to Walt Disney World? He'll never remember anything. Yeah, but you will.
Right.
You'll remember all of it.
Right.
You remember every smile. It's a big deal. Anyway.
It is a big deal.
I get off my corny soapbox.
Well, I want to join you on it for one second. Just move over a little bit so I can fit on, because I just want to say.
It has to be a pretty big soapbox, the two of us. Why'd you give me a look?
I just want to say,
I wasn't making a joke. I was saying it.
What's
anyway.
really cool about your point about saying, Disney's all about those moments and kind of about what we're doing in this show, because we're talking about not just, in park moments. The cool thing about Disney is you can have a moment like that anywhere.
Yeah, I agree.
It can be, and we always talk about this, but for me, so many of my Disney moments are actually in our hotel room.
Sure. Yeah, but
because we talk about the day, what we did, we plan the next day. We have snacks that we brought from the parks. We look at the pictures. We call people that aren't on our trip and describe the trip. It's just like,
make them jealous.
Yeah. But I mean, it's just so incredible how Disney just, when you're there, it is everywhere. And you can, you can create these memories and moments every second of your trip.
I agree. All right, we got to stop with the.
Oh, I got the chills.
I know, we're gonna start crying. But it's true.
It is true.
All right, my next pick, I'm going to take us completely out of that.
I can't wait,
because this is my Tim the Toolman Taylor pick.
I'm with you.
And it's Yachtsman Steakhouse.
Oh, that is I never thought of that.
You want to take your dad.
You sure do want to.
You want to be a manly man and take your dad to get a big old steak.
Oh my gosh,
Delicious
the Yachtsman Steakhouse is fantastic.
Go to the yacht club, go to the Yachtsman Steakhouse. You walk by the dry aging room.
Yes.
And you see the butchers cutting steak, like the cuts of steak.
You're making me hungry, and I'm not even hungry.
I know, I'm not hungry either, but now I am. Listen, I can always be talked into a steak.
That's true.
I love, it's like my favorite food on the planet. Like, I love a steak. I don't eat it much.
No.
Maybe once a month, maybe. Probably less than that.
Probably even less.
I do love it though, and I don't know how. All right, let me finish with this about the Yachtsman Steakhouse,
Do it.
and then I'm going to go on a steak rant.
Okay, great.
Okay,
I'm ready.
just get ready for this. But this is as close to being a caveman as you can ever
true.
be in Walt
That's
Disney
true.
World. But you can't dress like a caveman. You have to dress up a little bit. Most places are theme park casual, so you can wear like cargo shorts and flip-flops, whatever.
Oh, this isn't?
Yachtsman's not. They want you to dress up a little bit.
Okay.
They recommend dress shorts, not cargo shorts. I would get kicked out because I don't wear cargo shorts.
I always just get dressy when I'm going to a place like that.
Yeah,
anyway,
yeah.
So I never even realized.
Like, don't go. You can go in a t-shirt. Probably shouldn't.
Right.
They don't want any graphic.
Frowned upon.
Yeah, they don't want any graphic t-shirts there. They prefer jackets, collared shirts, and khakis.
Okay.
You can wear khaki shorts, sneakers, and, a golf shirt. That's fine. But, it's a little bit more upscale, a little more expensive.
Right.
But, it's, so their technical thing is, on their website it says, no tank tops, flip-flops, swimsuits, swimsuit cover-ups, no hats, no cutoffs, no torn clothing, no T-shirts with offensive language and or graphics. That probably should be a rule in
Anywhere.
general. If you're going to Disney, don't wear an offensive shirt.
Right.
But what's amazing is you see so many of them, and I don't know how they get in. Like, I see offensive, like, I can't even explain the types of shirts that I've seen.
Right.
Women and men wearing.
I know.
And I'm like, whoa, like, how did you get in with
Very
that?
surprising.
You had to have a hoodie on or something when you walked in.
That's
because
what it is, yeah.
You're hiding that shirt.
Yeah, definitely.
But there are curses and all kinds of... And
definitely.
Listen, I think that's, I'm sorry, I want to be honest. I think it's completely tasteless anyway. But if you're going to Walt Disney World, you're going to be at Magic Kingdom, you're going to be at Epcot, you're going to be at the Yacht Club or the Beach Club.
Tons of kids are going to see you, older people.
Don't wear a shirt like that.
It's true.
Like, come
Just
on.
leave that at home.
I know, it's probably like a lot of kids that wear them, trying to get a rise out of people, fine. And I for sure did stuff like that when I was a kid, but no, you know what? No, I didn't.
You definitely never did that. I was just going to say that.
I thought for a minute, and I was like, no, I didn't. I wasn't like that. Anyway, so go to the Yachtsman. It's not inexpensive.
Right.
Like if you want the porterhouse for two, I think it's $130.
Wow.
Like it's not.
But it's a huge steak.
Yeah, it's like a 28-ounce steak.
Oh
like,
my gosh, that is so much
that's
steak.
like what is on the Great Outdoors with John Candy?
Oh yeah, I don't remember.
The old 96er.
Yes.
It's not as quite as big as the old 96er, but it's huge. So here's my steak rant. Okay,
I'm ready for the steak rant.
You used to be at the other end, and I've gotten you to live a little bit.
I know what this is about.
Yeah, you do.
I know what you're addressing.
You cannot, unless you have a medical need, unless there's a medical
Who has
problem.
a medical need?
You cannot eat a steak well done. You just can't do it.
I did used to do that.
You can't. It ruins the steak. Medium well is the best, and you shouldn't even do it medium well.
Oh, he does get mad about medium well still.
You get medium well, and sometimes I'm like, no, medium, get medium. You're like, but I don't want it like that. And I'm like, you have to get a medium. I feel very, very, like, I go medium rare. My dad, speaking of dads, goes rare.
Every time.
And I don't know how he does that.
I know, because it hurts your stomach, doesn't it?
It does. Like, but you just know it's coming.
It's just worth it. It's worth it for the flavor.
Medium rare hurts my stomach.
Oh, it always hurts your stomach.
It does. Excuse me, I'm going to cough. Sorry. As people, we progressed enough to cook our food. So maybe we shouldn't eat it bleeding. Like that's.
But hey, if that's an option for some people, they're taking it.
I know it. Sometimes I know it's coming, and I just eat it medium rare anyway. Anyway, that's my steak rant.
That's a great one.
Don't char the heck out of your steak, unless you're just going to char
but
the outside.
do take your dad to Yachtsman Steakhouse.
Yes, there you go.
So I have my next pick, and this is not about my dad specifically. This is not about your dad specifically. This is not even about you as a dad specifically. This is every single dad. If you have a dad, if you are a dad, if you are friends with a dad, if you just see a random dad in the parks, take them to Monsters, Inc. Laugh Floor, because oh my gosh, is it awesome.
Jokes.
First of all, yes, there are a million dad jokes. Second of all, it's just hilarious. Every single person in the world should see it. It's really funny. Third of all, the main reason that I put it on the list is because the best moments, I should say, in Monsters Inc. Laugh Floor is when they get a dad that is like so not interested.
Because then they don't leave them alone.
And then they're like, you have to get up and dance right now in front of all these people, and they make them dance like 8 times during the show. And it's fantastic. It's fun no matter who they pick. But I will admit, I think the ones where they pick because like, when
they pick the grumpy dad out.
That's what I mean. When they pick a grumpy dad, there's nothing better in the world. It is so fantastic.
It's almost better when they don't play along. Like when they
it's much better when they don't play along.
Yeah, because then the monsters have something really, like they have jokes lined up.
Of course, because that happens.
Yeah, like I've been picked so many times at Monsters Inc. Laugh Floor.
Almost every time we go, I think.
I've had to dance, which I'm the worst dancer in the world.
Yes, no, he's a great dancer.
You're for real.
You're a fantastic.
Tell people.
Wait, I'm a phenomenal dancer.
What's that, wedding crashers? Yes. Oh, come on. We both know I'm a phenomenal dancer. Vince Vaughn's the best. But no, we both know I'm a terrible dancer. I've literally no rhythm, right? So not that I need, like at a wedding, I'll dance because it's social. There's a lot of people that.
Yeah. And you don't have to like dance, like full out dance.
No. And there's also, there's some, get a couple drinks and people are dancing.
You feel more
relaxed.
relaxed.
Like, there's a lot of bad dancers at weddings, so I'll dance at a wedding.
Sure.
But going in Monsters Inc. Laugh Floor, they don't give you beverages beforehand.
No, and it's just you.
And it's just you.
And everyone else watching.
A few hundred people watching you on the screen. And when they turn the music on and say, this guy's going to dance, you have to get up and dance.
Right.
Like, I just got up. I don't know what I did. And people cheered. And then I sat down, and that was it.
You blacked out a little bit.
I did. This is out of my own body for a couple minutes, and I came back, and I was like, "Whoa, what happened?" But yeah, like, and I've been Mike Wazowski like 15 times.
Oh, always.
Whenever they tell the Monsters Inc. story, and they need a Mike Wazowski, they find a bald guy in the crowd. So if I have a hat on, I won't get picked as Mike. But if I don't have a hat on,
it's pretty much always you.
Or my dad. My dad also
yes.
is a shaved head guy. So either of us will get picked as Mike Wazowski. But it's a lot of fun.
Which is super fun.
Yeah. But no, I love that pick. I love that. For me, that's one of those attractions. There's really super rarely ever wait, right? Like,
yes, that's
very,
true.
Very rare. We've been in the busiest of days. And
that's another point.
The longest we've waited is a half hour if it's a busy day. But normally it's 5 to 10 minutes.
Absolutely. Oh, and I'm so glad you said that. I meant to say that about Country Bear Jamboree is, another plus. So it's air conditioned. You sit down. It's a show. And it's rarely a wait. So, I just think that's another plus for some dads.
Yeah, that's true about this one. And it's like I said, it's
same with Monsters and Laughter. Yes,
it's a big theater.
Absolutely.
A lot of people get in at once, and then the pre-show. Basically,
I love the pre-show.
It's all air conditioned from the second you walk in. It's the entire air conditioned queue, the air conditioned pre-show. The show is air conditioned.
Yes, it's really cool.
So you're in the AC for like 40 minutes or a half hour.
Yeah, it's a nice.
And then you walk outside the heat, you're like instantly melting.
But at least you're still laughing.
No,
and potentially dancing.
You will tell those jokes again.
Oh, I tell all the jokes all the time.
It's worth it. All right, that's a great pick. I love that one.
Thank you.
All right, we have two more. Yeah, all right. So
you have two more. I have one.
Gotcha. All right, so I'm going to go with this one. Ride the monorail with your dad. And
that's a great pick.
This is a very personal one for me. I've told this story before, but there's something about the monorail. You and I have talked about it a ton on this podcast. That there's something special about riding the monorail. Period. And I know here's where people say, "Oh, well, it breaks down." It does from time to time. It does.
It does.
But so does a car.
Sure, that's true too.
So does everything else. So
do attractions. And...
Yeah, you think it's just not perfect. Of course, it's not. But does it need to be replaced? Yeah, it does. But that's fine. Anyway,
that's not your job, though.
Right.
You can't do anything about that.
Right. You know what's really funny is so many people think that I am Disney on social media.
Right.
Like I'm in charge of it.
I know they do think that.
I get emails all the time like, when are you going to fix this? What do you mean?
That is not in my jurisdiction.
Like, it doesn't even say Disney anywhere in my title, my name, anything. It's just not. Anyway, I guess that's when you've made it a little bit when people start asking you to fix things in Disney.
Right.
They're like, hey, when are you going to fix the monorail? I'm like, when you pay me Bob Iger's salary to fix the monorail.
Then I'll get on it.
Then I'll take care of it.
I'll figure it out.
So anyway, my personal story with the monorail is on my first trip in 1992. I loved it. We rode the monorail a couple of times from the TTC to Magic Kingdom. And I loved it. I thought it was just
That's
an amazing
the best.
thing.
It's such a great monorail ride.
Yeah, so because there's just so much anticipation.
It is.
Right? And then we would ride it at home at night or ride the boat if it was too busy. But on our last day, I remember my sister wanting to do all the Fantasyland stuff again. And I was, I think, 12 or 13. And I wanted just to ride the monorail again. But we weren't. Right. I knew we weren't going to get a chance to ride it. So my dad and I took a lap on the resort monorail. And I got to do it one more time. And it just meant so much. Like, not only did I got to do it one more time, but I got to do it with my dad. I had the memory of that. I've always had that.
And your dad is super into that stuff.
My dad loves that stuff.
Such a nice moment.
My dad loves, he's like me. Like neither of us are like big car people. Like we're not like gearheads or anything like that. But monorails, like that kind of transportation.
That's what you guys get.
Yeah, we get excited about that stuff.
You do. And that's awesome. It's really nice to share that.
So I have a memory of the monorail with our kids because years ago, probably 3 years ago when Jack and Zoe were like 3, we were staying at Big Lake Tower and we had a long day in the parks. It was probably really hot. And we got back to the room and Alexa was just done. She didn't want, she was like almost 5 or 5, 2 3-year-olds climbing all over her all day. And she was just cooked. She just didn't want to deal with it anymore.
And unsurprisingly, she ended up being sick the very next day.
Probably. Yeah,
but anyway, she did, I remember. But anyway,
she was just done.
She was just out.
Her brother and sister climbing all over, grabbing her, pulling her,
finished.
Talking to her, yelling at her all day.
Right.
She was done. She needed a break in the air conditioner.
She did.
So I told Amy, I said, I'm just going to take Jack and Zoe for a walk. and just get them out of here.
We were with your parents.
Were we?
Oh no, I'm thinking of a different one.
So I took them for a walk, and I walked them to the.
But she did get sick the next day.
I'm sure the Grand Canyon Concourse, and I was like, you know what? This only takes like 5 minutes to get here. If I walk back to the room now, she didn't have any time to relax or decompress. So I was like, I'm just going to take them for a ride on the monorail. So we just went up the elevator and got on the monorail and took a ride around. And I just remember being happy, like so happy just to sit and ride and look at the resorts, the hotels, and like the look on their faces. They were 3, so they understood it driving past the Magic Kingdom, just like looking out and being all excited. Like even though we were there all day, just seeing it from the monorail is a different thing. So just having that memory with them and having the memory with my dad makes me kind of want to always like do that with the kids as a dad. So that's my monorail story.
I think that's great, and that is.
I'm sorry to interrupt. I just like riding the monorail as an attraction in itself. Like yes, it's transportation.
That's what I was.
But I just enjoy riding it. God, I'm sorry.
No. That's a great point, because I think you're right that a lot of it's underrated, essentially. Like, people don't really appreciate it. People are just like, and you're right. And it's true. And you're most of the time when you're riding it, you're either in a big rush to get there or you're done. You're hot. You're cooked. You're just like, oh, I just want to be back in the hotel. But if you just take the minute to like appreciate it, it really is great.
It is.
And also, might sound strange, but I've met a million people on the monorail. Like, it's really nice to talk to other people on it. Everybody is sitting and relaxing. And even if you're not, even if your kids are like, being crazy or whatever, you could just look at another parent and be like, this is crazy. And they're like, don't worry, my kids were doing that 2 minutes ago.
Yeah,
like,
give that, or there's like that look.
Yes.
Like that parents give each other in Walt Disney World, that nod.
Yes, and we're just like, we're in it together. We are in this together. I feel you. I am on your team.
Yeah, like you see a kid completely breaking down.
Yes.
And you look at the parent, and it's not a judging look. It's just I got you.
Yeah,
like you're okay. It's we all know.
Don't worry, my kid did it yesterday.
Yeah,
and
we're 10 minutes ago, like you said. Yeah,
yes.
Yeah, like listen, kid breakdowns are inevitable in Walt Disney World.
Oh yeah, you're not having a vacation with that one.
No, so
or 10.
So anyway, but yeah,
depending on the age.
Look at the kid, look at the parents, and just shrug and say.
No, I'm actually serious that the monorail is a great place for that.
Yeah, and you see it all the time.
Because, when you're in the park, even if you're in the parks, even if you're, at a show or even at, at lunch, you're still so in it that you don't really have the moment to be like relaxed enough to exchange that look.
Yeah.
But on the monorail, you're totally relaxed.
Yeah.
You're done. You're heading back to the hotel, whether it's you're going to go to the pool, you're going to go to the room to take a break. You're off for a minute. You can just chill out.
You're off.
Right?
Yeah, you're not.
You can just relax.
Unless your kid is one of those kids that like climbs all over the monorail and you have to worry about them like leaning on the doors and stuff, because there are those.
Well, I'm not sure what to do. Who are you? Yeah,
there's those kids who you're like, whoa, like I'm just going to ignore this and look the other way and hope that
hope for the best.
All right. What's your last one?
So my last one is very fun, and it's another one where I feel like this is for any dad. And again, this is for really anyone. But specifically for dads, kind of what I was saying before about, I do hear so many people saying like, oh, my husband, just he's just not a Disney guy. Have you heard that a lot?
Oh my God.
He's just not a Disney guy. So I was trying to think of like, okay, well, I'm doing dads. So let me think of how I can make a non-Disney guy a Disney guy. And I was thinking, I specifically thought of going to Epcot, going just to World Showcase, grab whatever kind of drink and or snack that you want, and just sit down at a table near one of the bands and listen to the band, enjoy your drink, and just you don't feel. I know that you're in it. You are in the middle of Walt Disney World, and you're in the middle of the craziness and the busyness and all the people, all the crowds. But at the same time, you're also kind of just you could be anywhere, and you're just enjoying you could be in whichever, World Showcase country you're in. You could be there. And, you don't have to feel like busy or stressed or anything. You could just sit and listen to music and have a drink. And if like your family is doing an attraction that you don't want to do, cool. Just meet them later. You could just sit at the table and they'll meet you later. They'll scoop you up when they're done. And I just think that's a really great thing for a dad.
I think I have gotten that a bunch. my husband just doesn't get it or just doesn't want to do it.
Oh, all the time I hear that.
And I think you can convert those guys not easily, but pretty easily. Like,
I think so too.
Because if you
have to tailor their trip to what you know is going to work for them.
Yeah, and that's what this whole podcast was, with the fishing,
That's
with
what
the
I mean.
golf, with the steak, with the the country bears, with all this stuff. Like, you can definitely, with World Showcase especially, I think it's a great pick because
Thank you.
you can totally that's fine. You can you can totally.
He's not used to complimenting me. So.
I guess I am. Get out of here. You can totally make it not about pixie dust and fairy tales.
Exactly.
You can definitely make it a guy's vacation.
Easily you can.
Yeah,
sure.
Like, go to the parks and do the thrill rides. You know, go play golf. Go to Yachtsman. Go to some of the lounges.
Oh, the lounges is a great pick. I didn't think of them. I love the lounges.
Yeah, like you go to. There's so many places. There's so many nice
go to
restaurants. Trader Sam's, Jock Lindsay's Hangar Bar. There's these places that guys will really enjoy that you don't really think about. So like you can convert a quote unquote non-Disney person pretty easily. Like,
I agree.
Give me the itinerary.
Right.
I'll do
That's
it.
what I mean. If you can plan it, then you're good.
Tell me the 4 things that the guy's into.
Right.
If you're trying to convince your husband to go, tell me 2 things.
And I will
into,
do it. Right.
And I'll get him to love it.
Absolutely.
Because there's so much offered.
There really is.
Again, it's not just princesses and pixie dust.
And so much of what we've talked about today, I think, is overlooked or not even, people don't even realize it's available.
I agree. I really agree.
I feel like we taught, or you mostly, taught a lot of people things that they didn't even realize was there, which is
little
awesome.
thing that I do is I'm very educational when I speak.
All the time, or?
Yeah.
Okay.
You can tell by my tone of voice right now.
Is this your professor tone?
Yes.
Okay. It felt like
educating the listener.
I see.
On things that they might, I don't know. I was trying to keep going, but it's not good. So ridiculous.
It's not good.
It's so silly. No, I listen. I agree. I think.
But yeah, and I also think
let's convert the non-believers.
Yes, and I think my idea of sitting and listening to the band in World Showcase also is kind of to prove to the non-believer that Disney doesn't have to be go 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 run run run.
It doesn't have to be. It can. I mean, it is fun doing it that way.
It's super fun, and I'm not trying to, by the way, say like all dads are like this, like dads don't like that.
I think you are. Why don't you tell me a little bit more about that?
What I'm saying is, I'm also not saying that there are. I mean, I know there are tons of moms that are like that too. We picked a dad's show, so that's why I'm using that, and I just happened to hear that a good amount. And so what I'm saying is, yeah. Go, run, 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 go, go, go if you want to do that. But just be aware that you don't have to do that every second that you're in Disney.
Right, that's true.
And you can still have a totally fulfilling vacation.
True. Very well
said. That was
my
point. Thank you.
Very well said. Soapbox removed from the office for the rest of the
That was me stepping off the soapbox.
That's good.
I don't know if I slipped off it or...
Amy brings her own sound effects.
I did.
I don't even have to use anything for that.
No, I did it
myself.
myself.
All right, so I saved this one for last because... It's one that's super. I'm not going to cry because I'm a man.
Oh, he's totally crying 40, already. I see tears forming in his eyes.
But this is one that when I had daughters, I knew I would want to do for years, and it's Meet the Princesses with your kids.
Oh, that's great.
Perfect. This one I'm talking to the dads. I'm not talking to me and you taking our dads, but maybe I am because. Think about taking their granddaughters,
yes,
and my daughters to Meet a Princess. There's something about it.
There is.
There's something about meeting Mickey Mouse. It's
absolutely.
It's the big time the bucket list Disney experience when you take a trip.
And bringing your son to meet Mickey. I mean, just at least specifically our
Jack,
son,
my lord, he's a Mickey maniac.
For us, it is comparable to the princesses, just in his reaction.
It is.
But I know what you're saying, that a girl meeting a princess, it's nothing.
And right.
You can't compare. It's incomparable.
You're right. And for a dad or a grandfather to take their daughter or granddaughter to meet a princess, right. It's a dream come true. It is. It's
it really is.
We would buy our and I'm a little bummed that they don't wear the princess dresses anymore, our girls.
know,
But we
they're
would
just
buy.
older.
They're older, right? They're 8 and 6 now. And they're like,
They're not that comfortable for me.
They're little fashion. They're little fashion.
Very
models.
fashion mavens. Oh my god.
They want to wear their fashionable stuff, and I get it, man. My sister, my mom, you a little bit, but not really. Kind of push the fashion stuff. Like my family more, like they dress them up like they're kind of dolls.
Yes.
So they love that stuff. They love the coordinating mini ears with their clothes.
Yes. And they'll still do character shirts.
Yes.
Which I think is awesome.
Yeah, they'll do the shirts, but they won't do the dresses anymore. No. But there was something about getting them dressed up in their Disney princess dresses, waiting in line, and then I'm thinking about like Princess Fairy Tale Hall or Merida or something like that, specifically where you can see the princess.
Yes, before
and then anticipation builds.
Yes.
And they're in line and it's just like, like crazy with excitement.
It's just, you're just shaking.
And it's so funny. My favorite part about it is almost every time with our girls, when it was time to see the princess, they just freeze.
Oh, every time. Still.
They just stand there. I'm like, guys, go. And they're just
then they figure it out. But
they just, it's overwhelming to them. Like
it
it's
is.
just, so as a dad, getting to experience that with the girls has just been in every trip. Like whenever you're like, Phil, you can skip. Like we've met Ariel 10 times. You can skip this one.
I never said that.
You have said it before.
No, I didn't.
Like if I didn't feel well or if I wanted to get some pictures of something for my, for a blog post or a podcast or the website or Facebook, you've said to me like, just skip it. And I'm like, no, like because it's different and it's never the same. No matter what princess you're meeting,
it's different every single
time. It's always
time.
a different interaction. And there's something about being a dad with your little girls and meeting Disney princesses. It's an awesome experience. It really is.
No, it is. And also, if you do have girls that are in Disney princess dresses and you happen to meet the princess of the dress they're wearing.
Yeah. We have a picture.
Oh my gosh, you guys, it is incredible.
We have a picture of Alexa when she met Aurora and they were wearing
it's like a famous picture dresses. In our family.
I've used that. And then there's another one with
Snow
her meeting Snow White and she was like skipping to see Snow White. The only reason we don't have Jack and Zoe in those pictures is because Zoe was crying hysterically.
She never.
Because she was 2 and it was... We told the story. That's the famous Snow White story.
Yes, that's our Snow White story.
Left Hollywood Studios and ran to Epcot to meet Snow White. And all this, we did all this stuff to meet Snow White. And by the time we got up to the line, Zoe was hysterical.
She had no interest in doing it. And I was like, you are going and you were meeting Snow White.
I don't care what you think.
So I am in the picture because it was the only way I could get her to do it.
Just sweating.
My big red sweaty
face, sweat dripping off you. And the kids, nice and cool because they rode in strollers all the way over there.
They were all relaxed.
Yeah, if you haven't listened to that episode, I think we call it 2 Big Disney Mistakes We
I think
Made.
that's right.
I forget what episode number. I'll have to look that up. But you should Google Ear to There podcast, 2 Big Mistakes.
It's really funny.
Right now, if you want to listen to another episode after this and listen to that one because the stories are funny. Listen, I've been told that by other people, not just us.
Right.
Like that they listened and they were laughing in their car or laughing on the treadmill because they could kind of put themselves in our shoes.
Oh, of course.
It's a funny story. But anyway, princesses, if you're a dad, if you're a grandfather, if you're taking your dad or your husband or your father or your grandfather, go get some fast passes to meet princesses. Get them to meet at Princess Fairy Tale Hall, or make sure you wait in line for Anna and Elsa.
Oh, that's the best.
Epcot. It's totally worth it.
Oh, Anna and Elsa is so worth it. That's a great pick, Phil, and a great way to close out the show.
You know what, Ames? Thank you, but I hold myself to very high standards these days.
Well, you possibly exceeded them today.
I think I always exceed them. It's just this thing that I do.
It's what you do.
Really good. Jeez. Anyway, thank you for being on another episode of the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
This was very fun, and I kind of let Mother's Day go without doing a mom show.
Oh, that's true.
So I'll have to do that next year. I didn't do it on purpose. I just kind of had this idea for the dad show today. So we'll do the mom show next year.
Sounds great.
You and I on it. So with you, and maybe we'll bring a third mom in. Or second mom. I'm not a mom.
Hey.
Maybe we'll bring a third person in. And have
I felt like my math was off somehow.
I always want to get my mom or dad on the show.
I know. That would be so... guys, that would be awesome.
I'm just curious what they would think. But they've listened, but would they be able to sit here in front of a mic and talk? I don't know if they would.
I think so. I think they could.
That's going to be
Let's try it.
That's going to be a challenge. All right,
Okay.
Ames, thanks again.
Thank you.
And that is going to do it for this week's show. Thank you once again to Bob Gurr for answering yet another question on the show. Thank you so much to my wife, the wonderful, the lovely Amy Liz. Ames, thanks for coming on. And thank you so much for listening yet again. Here we are every week. Every week I put out a show. Here you are every week listening. Or who knows, maybe you're listening in like 2025 and you just found the podcast. That's also very exciting. So thank you so much for listening to this episode and every other episode that you listen to. I tell people all the time not to look at podcast numbers and statistics. They don't mean anything. But I did take a peek this week and I saw this show, this here podcast, in the top 10 in the kids and family section. That's crazy to me. It was up there a couple times over the last week. So somebody's listening. So if you've enjoyed the show, please share it. Just tell someone about it. I'd love to see it up there again. It would be really cool to see the show ranked up there in Apple Podcasts. So if you do enjoy it, just say, hey, Steve. Yes, you, Steve, the guy with the Mickey ears. You look like a Disney fan. You should listen to this podcast. It would mean the world to me. So thank you so much in advance. And just remember, there will be a new episode of the Ear to Their Disney podcast next week, as well as probably a bonus episode. I keep doing those. They're being downloaded and people are really enjoying those as well. So there will most likely be a bonus episode and a new Walt Disney World word of the week as well. So until next time, thank you again so much for listening. You are awesome. Have a great week. Happy Father's Day again to everyone it applies to. Bye-bye.
Ear to the